Hello and welcome to Red Devil's Advocate. I am Sean, today joined with Andy and Tyrone. We are going to be talking about the cup match and yesterday's performance against Leicester. Boys, we actually went on a bit of a run there for a minute. We took leads, we opened them up, spat them out,
I don't think that's more than open up, man.
and we took that same energy, we brought it to Everton. Unfortunately, their goalkeeper was playing very well from start to finish, but we still managed to get the better side of them. Andy, would you like to take the floor first on how you think the match went?
Yeah, of course. This is one I did watch, and I feel Everton played well. I think we can see from that single performance why they're in the top four. I'm not sure if they're still there now, but they were at the time. And I I feel Ollie's been mocked for saying this in previous matches, but they did really deserve respect. We did need to watch ourselves against Everton. They've got a world class manager coach in Carlo Ancelotti, and we had to pattern ourselves accordingly. I was very impressed with our performance though in that game, and I just want to put it out there. It took Martial to come on for the gear to go into that next level. Twanzebe performed really well as a right back, even though we've seen him in the centre back position. And again, he just looks really good. I think that game saw Bailly as well instead of Lindelof. So, I mean, yeah, have that what you will. I think it came out recently that Twanzebe was injured, which is why we didn't see him, or he was having a knock or something. And that makes sense to me as to why we haven't seen him since PSG in a very long performance. Yeah, I think we did very well in that game. I think we kind of ripped on Marcel a little bit, and I have a feeling that more is coming, just rightly so. But in this game, he did well. I think he got a goal and assist, and he marked his 75th goal for United.
Yeah,
Um,
Rashford put the ball into him.
yeah, because we were getting at them, we were carving them open, but we couldn't get past their keeper because you quite rightly said their keeper was playing really well, unlike the Arsenal keeper in the Carabao Cup. Everton actually had a bona fide keeper there, and there were so many shots that we had that felt like could have been goals with other teams. So yeah, we were really, really blessed to have quite a good attacking formation. I think a lot of us have identified what the problem with our squad is. It's the captain.
That is a very big shout. Tyrone,
Oh,
did you see the match? Do
with
you agree
Everton,
with the match against Everton, and do you agree with what Andy was saying?
you know what? I agree in it because Martial had to make up for what he did in the Leeds match, man. Because there was quite a few. There was quite a few. He could have been there. He's 80th. Just saying. But he had to. He did step up from last game, and I do appreciate him stepping up. When he came on and got the grinds ticking. But yeah, he needed to after that Leeds match. Could have been like on a hat trick. Another to his name, but. I'm not cussing him or anything, but just saying. But I agree with everything Andy said. It was good to see our good defenders on. Just saying. Good. But as I said, Ollie looks like he's still at the wheel. He's still at the wheel. No matter what happened, he's still at the wheel because the Pochettino effect is already gone now because he's gone somewhere else. So now Ollie has more breathing space, I would say now. Because all those guys were saying, yo, I won't lie. I swear, was I one of the person that said Pochettino needs to hurry up and come?
I believe you might have been.
I
I
think
think
he
I
did say
think
that at
I
one
think
point.
I did say that.
Yeah,
Now the data is out, yeah. But right now, obviously, The way I see we played with Everton and Leeds now, it's kind of like Ollie's capable of doing it now. So I don't want to hear no more excuses from him anymore. Really, truly. Like the whole, oh, injury, or or he's on the same thing with Klopp, calling out conspiracy big names and stuff about matches and stuff. Right now, he just show that he actually has the knowledge to win games. So right now, I don't want to hear no excuses. The only way we can lose matches is if someone scores a beautiful goal from out of the box that somehow ends up in the box. But right now, it's up to the players. So whatever happens now, I know it's the players' fault, not Ollie's. So I won't blame him unless I see him actually do something suspect, with the formation and thing. But right now, I have all faith in the players and the managers after the Everton win. Shout out to Cavani and thing. Just want to shout out to him. Just but no, yeah. But the Everton match and the Leeds match, I really appreciate those matches. I really like watching them. So yeah, shout out to the players, isn't it? And shout out to Harry Maguire feeding the kids too. Shout out. I think that's enough from me.
I didn't know that Maguire was feeding kids as well.
Yeah, man. It was on the.
That
It was on,
isn't-
no. Seriously, it's on the Man United website and stuff. So sometimes I do read into the out of pitch and in pitch as well. Get a
Fair
little
enough.
get 100% of what everyone's doing in the players. But yeah,
Well, leading from that point in particular, maybe he's going to have more time feeding the kids with what I have to offer you as a question.
wow,
Obviously, Twanzebe came back.
yeah.
He played amazingly.
But
Now, Andy said that he was gone because he took a bit of a knock. However,
yeah,
we know that we're looking for a new centre back. Am I wrong to say potentially Twanzebe over Maguire?
no,
Yes.
it will never happen. It will never happen. I want it to happen, but it will never happen.
Yeah.
Look,
Yeah.
the
I
only
agree.
thing I can take is him taking Lindelof off. But I doubt it. Those two right there are protected.
Mm.
Harry's protected by his price tag, and Lindelof is just protected because he can cover Harry. So I'm just saying it's hard to say him for over Harry because Harry's price tag protects him. It's
So
just,
I want to
like
stop
right
you
now,
there.
don't get me wrong, Pogba's protection got faded away. Like his price tag faded away over the years and his performances. That's why he's getting benched now. But right now, I don't see Ollie benching Harry.
Well,
Especially that he has the captain armband and the price tag. That's protecting him for now.
well,
There's
you got to factor in Pogba has also gone on record at least twice and said he wants to leave the club, which
I
is
know.
why he's not protected anymore.
I know, but before that, we already saw it was coming, man. Slowly, it's like the guy wasn't performing. Like Scott was there. Scott and Fred were like, "Yeah, but ballers, you could be
Okay,
fine."
hang on. Wait, please.
Order.
So before we start getting carried away
Yes.
even further onto this madness of a roller coaster,
Yeah,
I'd like to address you're saying Lindelof's protected, but then we saw him benched in the match we're talking about for Bailly.
yeah.
And then, granted, yes, he was played in the Leicester match, but as a right
Mhm,
back, meaning
mhm.
he wasn't played in his position,
Yeah,
which means there are other people getting picked for that position over him. And we've seen that it is over him because obviously he did take an injury and he
yeah.
then got replaced by Twanzebe.
Uh-huh.
Which means, yes, Lindelof is getting played over Twanzebe, but
Mhm.
there are other people getting played over Lindelof. So I don't know where you're getting that he is protected.
I know. I'm just saying he's protected. The firm's like, if Ollie wants to go against a big team, Lindelof's going to be picked unless they have fast players. That's
Are
all I'm
you
saying.
saying? Are you saying Leicester isn't a big team? Are you saying
Uh,
Leicester weren't the team above us in the league at the time of the match?
um, well,
Are you
yeah.
saying that they're still not in front of us right now because we
Well,
drew
well,
instead of
We
won?
bottled it.
well,
Yeah.
well. You know what? I won't say they're a big team. They're getting big, but they're not a big team.
Would you say Arsenal's a big team, Tyrone?
Right now, nope. No. In this current form, you know, it's sad. It's kind of weird for me to say, but I feel bad for Arsenal right now. Man,
See, I feel like
like,
big teams are going off of legacy and squad.
yeah,
Arsenal
but
may be playing badly right now, but they still have the squad depth and the legacy. They are
I
still
know,
a bigger team
I,
in England.
I know, but
And
would you say that if they go to championship? What if they go to championship? Would you still say Arsenal's a big club?
no,
Be
because
real
they're
with me.
in the championship.
See? So if they're in Prem, are you trying to say if you're in Prem, you stay in Prem for a long time, you're a big team?
Of
Like
course.
I
Look
know,
at the
okay.
history.
So if
And
Arsenal
if you
just
look at what
suddenly drop,
Leicester has done
right?
in the time that they've been in the Premiership, they are a
Yeah,
contender. They are a top 10 side.
cool. I
And
understand, but
over the last couple of seasons, they are a top 6 side. Currently, right now, I believe they are third in the league. To say that they're not a big side,
hey man,
kind of
but hey,
your argument is a bit mad.
hey, I'm not saying they're not a good team. I'm not saying they're a good team, but just I won't say they're big yet. Yet.
They
If
hold a
Hey man, if
Premiership
next season Leicester somehow wins Champions League, I'll take this back.
title. Hang on a second. Hang on.
I'll take this
No.
back.
No.
I would
Genuine
take
question right
back
now.
it. Hmm?
Genuine question right now, right?
Yeah.
Leicester won a Premiership title before Liverpool did. Were Liverpool a big squad before that?
They're okay team, but they had the history to back a good history. You know, they have an amazing history. But at
So,
that time,
so
I wouldn't say Liverpool was an amazing team at the time when Leicester won, but they were on their way there.
So everything that I'm asking you is destroying all of your points.
You know, yeah.
Great pride in this fact because Tyrone, you don't know what you're talking about, man.
Oh god.
I was just saying. Hey, as I said, like we should have beat Leicester, but you know, that's my opinion. But
Well, we haven't got to Leicester yet. We
I
still
know
have
we haven't got to Leicester.
many
I
things.
was gonna
We,
say, yeah.
yeah, we
Many
still. But as
Yeah,
I
but-
said, the whole thing with Lindelof, I just feel like Lindelof's still gonna get loved a little bit more. If Fink takes his spot, then I'll happily take it. I won't complain. I'll say sell Lindelof with Phil Jones because I know he's still there hiding
So,
on.
just for clarification, you're
Mhm.
saying that Twanzebe wouldn't take Maguire's spot because of the current hold that he has at the club, and
Yes,
rather he would take Lindelof's.
yes, that's the only way I can see him playing in that defense is if he somehow outperforms Lindelof, which we know he can, and we know he will sooner or later. But Harry right now, unless he goes like hit the floor like completely, like people are destroying him left, right, side every game, I don't see him getting pull off, and I don't see Harry letting people dish him out like that for like every day, every match. Even though sometimes he has some suspect moments, but right now the captain armband and the price tag is protecting Harry. That's what I'm saying. But Lindelof, yes, I feel like he can take Lindelof's place and be the strong one. You know, the strong.
Oh, I mean, I feel like Harry Maguire is supposed to be the.
Yeah, but is he the sure? Is he the like? Is he? Is he though? Is he?
Those questions will come later on.
You know what? I just want to know: is he the wall? Is he actually a wall? Like when players run at him, does he go? Or
that
is
is why we bought him. The man is 6 foot.
yeah? But has he had that?
He might
presence?
even be 6'4".
He might even be
You know?
6'4".
Yeah,
Like, we bought this man because he's a big presence in the box.
Mhm,
This man
mhm.
because he's an aerial threat. Yeah, we bought this man because he can take all the hits.
Yeah.
He's a big lad, Tyrone.
Mhm. I know he's a big lad, but has he been a big lad?
He is the captain. He is
I
the
know
leader
he's the
of
captain,
England.
but he said he's the leader of leaders.
He is the one who knows the basics of football. He is the
Yes.
one who helps our defense.
Mhm.
He is the wall
I know,
that
right?
supports the rest of our team,
Yes.
Tyrone.
Yes,
So
the price tag speaks for it all, bro.
yeah,
But
so I've just looked it up, and he is 6'4". He was bought for that purpose to be our aerial presence.
yeah,
There's a statistic going around that he's won the most aerial duels out of all the central defenders in Europe.
There is also a figure going around that says that he has played the most amount of football this year out of every defender in the world.
There's a stat that says he just played every minute of the Premier League last season. He played every minute.
Jesus.
That's crazy.
See,
So I see where Tyron's coming from. I don't think Oli is gonna bench Maguire for Twanzebe or this new signing,
Wait, is
but
that him?
he should be.
Oh, no, don't get me wrong, but is that him though, bro? Like those stats are mad. Never
So,
thought.
so this is my thing about stats.
That's
While
up.
they tell the truth, they can often mislead
Mm-hmm.
if the stats are not taken in the context that they
mhm.
should be. So he is winning aerial duels, but at the same time, we are actually watching these games, and where we concede goals is when he does not get involved in the play, i.e., he backs off. He's either given the keeper a dodgy pass, or he's actually not in position where a Van Dijk, for example, would be to clear the ball out of danger, and that is he's stat padding. That's what he's doing.
So right now you're trying to tell me Harry needs to go back to basics in passing and clearing the ball out from the
Well,
back.
yes,
I
Well,
yes,
agree.
yes.
I do
well,
agree. He's not.
from
He's
his
not.
from his own words, if you don't
Yeah.
understand the basics of football, you're going to lose.
Well, he needs to at least like to know like he can do the little passing at the back like, but I don't see how that's not basic centre back football, bro, or passing out of the back.
Tyrone. The thing is, every time he passes out of the back, he passes it to the goalkeeper, and they've scored off of it twice.
Yes, I know
And
that.
they nearly scored off it. I can't remember if it was the Everton match or if it was the Leicester match. I can't remember which one it was. But he did it again.
It
And
was Leicester, I think.
was it the
That's
Leicester
not.
match?
I think
I,
so.
I don't know. That's the
It was
one.
this week.
It
I
was
think,
this week,
It
which
was
is
this
why I
week.
yeah,
remember it.
bro,
But
man. That's the
yeah,
one scariest thing to pass the ball back to your keeper at that
so
space, fam. It's just scary. I'll never do it. As much as your coach say, if you can't pass the ball, pass it to your keeper. It's so scary, man. Because you can pass that ball and the person's faster than the pass, and he just eats it
mhm.
and puts your keeper in a bad. That whole tactic there. I know it's basics of football. If you're in trouble, pass it back to keeper, but that is too scary to pass it back. Because either you're passing it back to him and someone intercepts it, or you pass it and somehow, I'm not saying it that keepers can do it, but sometimes the keeper can miss the ball and you
We've
score
seen
an
it
own goal.
in the league. We've seen
You
it before.
you
Yeah,
see, that's what I'm trying to say. That's why in like high football, I feel like that shouldn't be. You shouldn't take a risk, guy, unless it's one of those, those tactical, give a little header back to the keeper, like, and he
that's
catches
different.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's different. Yeah, but the whole if you can't pass it back to your keeper,
No,
it's
if
a
you
bit
can't
like,
pass, you yeet it off field.
yeah,
Aim
that's
that's
yeah.
fine.
I'd rather you yeet it
Indeed.
off the field and make your guys can come back and get into space than to pass it back when the striker's right behind you. It's the scariest thing. And you
But that
remember,
is Maguire's signature move.
I
Every
know
time
it's
he has the ball and there is pressure on him, he passes it back to the
Mm.
keeper, and now the pressure is on the keeper because they already
yeah.
knew what he was going to do because he's done it in the
Mhm.
last 5
You
years.
see what I mean? That's what I'm saying. And you know how De Gea sometimes can have his moments, but
Mm.
I'm just saying, as a player shouldn't actually even try to pass it back. Those are scary times. It's either you bomb it forward or you bomb it off. But I know possession is key. In some coaches' minds, which it is sometimes. Not saying it. Like sometimes those guys
Mm.
on the commentary and TV be like, "Oh yeah, you won the game, but you need to dominate in passing and possession." It's like, bro, if we can score 7 goals and have 20 possession, I'd rather have the 7 goals and 20 possession. Let
Mm.
them play their football. If we take our chances, then that's all we need. That's all we need right now, isn't it? But
So
yeah,
I agree with what you said. Some of it. When you said that sometimes the centre backs will pass it to the keeper, and that's like the basics of football. Okay, I can understand that, but for me, I think the basics is don't concede a goal, and like honestly, I think there. I might have said this before, but there's like a list of things I'd rather concede. So I'd rather concede a throw-in, and then I'd
yes,
rather concede a corner, and then I'd rather concede a free
hmm
kick, and then I'd rather concede a penalty before I
yeah,
concede a goal. So if I'm Maguire's position, I'm just going to hoof it off the pitch, like
yeah,
give a long ball, and whether we lose possession or not, that at
Mhm.
least gives us time to get our shape back and
Yeah.
win the ball again, hopefully
Mhm.
higher up the pitch.
Yeah.
So I'm sure some coaches have that mentality, but I hate it when I see defenders pass it back to the keeper, and
Mhm.
we've seen it a lot in
Yeah.
British football. Phil Jones does it a lot. Whoever Phil Jones replaced used to do it. There was a weird position. There was a weird passing. Like after Rio and Vidic, we had like some other centre backs, and then we had Phil Jones maining,
Was it like Smalling?
or
Was it
maybe it
like
No,
was.
because
did not
Smalling was
Smalling
playing
come up?
alongside Jones. They
Yeah,
were
was it
playing.
not
It might
Smalling and Jones?
it might have been
Computer.
Smalling and Jones then. Yeah, but yeah.
Online, those guys were kind of solid for a bit, but then they went
They
downhill.
had one season, Tyrone. Let's not
They
get
had
into.
one
Let's not go there again.
season.
They had one season.
They had at least they did the job, man. I respect them for that. They did the job for that 1 year. I know.
Oh,
I know. We at least we never got relegated. That's all. That's all I need.
I was going to ask you, Tyrone, actually, because you've actually played as
Yeah, honest. Yeah.
somewhat professionally as a centre back. Have you been coached to pass to your keeper?
No,
Well then,
it's much. Look, I had two coaches. Yeah, you had the manager and you had the actual guy that trained us. Yeah, but you know the manager's always there at the football time. But he's there. They're both there at the same time, right? I've been told in centre back, if the ball comes into my area, it's either bomb it forward or bomb it off. No keeping the ball. If I can keep it and I can make a sensible pass, yeah, don't get me wrong. You use your
right,
IQ and
yeah,
you make the pass off, right? I have never passed it back to the keeper because one day, my first match, and I remember I will never listen to it again. What happened happened. I passed it back, and the striker somewhat ran and caught the ball. And and I tried to run back as fast as I could. I managed to stop it, but the ball ended up in the back of the net. And after that, I said to myself, I will never pass the ball back. And the reason why I passed the ball back then, because the manager kept yelling at me, pass it back. And when I passed it back, the keeper did not expect me to pass it back, even though he's hearing his own dad yelling it because his dad was a manager, saying, pass the ball back, Tyrone. I passed it back. That happened. And from that day,
mm,
first match, I never passed it back to the keeper. Unless we're 1 centimeter away. The
yeah.
ball.
If it's
Yeah.
if
Yeah. But
yeah,
if I'm in, like, if I have the ball and I'm there and the guy's running at me, it's either I draw the foul and get a foul because sometimes the
yeah,
strikers can be like 10 times.
right, yeah,
So you are either you draw the foul, get everyone back up there so you can bomb it forward, or you just get off the pitch or just hold it up until someone can come. Because right now, sometimes your team can legit leave you. That's the one. That's the one. None of them will actually come back into space and be like, "Yo, I'm here." Your fullback sometimes will be like looking at you like, I'm here, but someone's in front of them. You're like, if I pass it to you, he's gonna get on the wing and he's gonna bomb forward. But I've never listened to. Then my actual coach said to me, either you draw the foul or you kick it off, and if you can make the pass or you feel like you can put it back up in there and put it back into play, do it. But never the whole passing back to your keeper unless your keeper's out of the box, like out and he's not
mm,
far in, yeah,
yeah,
you can do those type of passes. But never do it if you're like if it's yeah, I know sometimes you have to turn around and be like, yeah, that's your only pass, but it's kind of like that there puts the keeper under pressure. Then the keeper's like either your keeper's confident or not in that position because sometimes they can panic as well. We're all human beings. We all can panic under situations like that. Remember, these guys are playing like the professional game, and if they make an error, the amount of pressure will go on them. It's not like a Sunday league football where only the manager will be upset with you. The parents won't be upset with you or anything. But right now, it's just a different type of pressure. So I wouldn't put the keeper in that position of passing it
yeah,
back, unless he's 5 yards there. You can do the little 1-2. He gives it back to you, and you just happy. But yeah, don't pass it back.
So
Especially when you have these strikers out here that can just yeet the ball off you like, and they're gone. They're gone. They're leaving you in the dust. But,
so talking of passing,
yeah.
I'll move on to the next bit of recently he's not been scoring. One thing he has been doing, though, is getting assists.
Yeah.
With Pogba potentially leaving, and with the hypothetical situation of swapping Pogba for Ronaldo, do you think it's a shout to have Martial drop in as a second cam alongside Fernandez? Because
Yeah,
the man hasn't been doing it in front of goal. So there's no harm dropping him back if he's being able to make the same runs anyway, and he's getting passes off.
I think you've answered the question in your question. We've seen Martial adapt to his new role because in the Premier League you don't really get the time that you would back in a few years ago. He's had to adapt and he's come in deep, so the wingers like Rashford and Greenwood can actually play. So I think him playing as a number 10 could work. If Fernandez gets injured, I definitely think we could play Martial there. This is somewhat unrelated, but I listened to a podcast with Wayne Rooney on it. And yeah, I mean, he's the greatest goal scorer of all time. And he said that he loved to play as a number 9 up front, but he could also play as a left winger and he could also play as a cam, but he hated playing on the right wing. So I think we could adopt a similar strategy with Martial. And if he's not getting the goals, he can't play as a number 9 for us. It's as simple as that. So it's either whether we put him in the left wing, but then he's got competition with Rashford. And I wouldn't bench Rashford right now because he's on great form and he's playing his socks off, literally. And that leaves Cam. But I can't bench Fernandez either right now. I would actually look at putting Martial in the number 10 position though, because that can either put Van der Beek or Fernandez in the number 6 role with the holding midfielders, or you can, as I said, replace an injured person or someone who's not getting the numbers themselves.
Well, the reason I mentioned it is, as we said in the last one, obviously, we're expecting Pogba to be leaving within the next couple of weeks. So there would be that opening there for Martial to just slot in like naturally without actually having to put anyone's noses out of joint.
No, that
Yeah.
can work. I agree with that. That can actually work. And plus, he has the mentality is to do those runs, so he will know, like the person when they do the run. So it's not like he's new. He'll be new to it. He already knows that. Oh, if that was me, I would do that run. So if he sees someone does the run, he knows how to like slot it in. And I do agree with the whole if Pogba goes, why not? If you want playing time, as a footballer, it should be playing time. It shouldn't be about the position you play. It should be about playing time, really and truly. Because you need the time to play the game to experience and learn stuff and make yourself better. I'd rather play as a left back than sitting on the bench, if the choice is, Remember, like we see how footballers would do it before, We're just saying the ones we know. Like Valencia was a left mid and went to left back. Ash Young, same thing. Rooney, yeah, he went from striker to midfield and he still does those amazing balls till now. Even though he's in a lower division, he's still doing it. He went to America, still did it, came back, still did it. Yeah, he lost his legs, but he still has the pass, So I agree with the whole Martial can actually slot back in deeper and play, so he doesn't always have to do the run-offs because then he can do the little pass it to the striker lays it, and he's a little in the corner. But I do agree with what you brought up, Sean. But yeah, I do agree with the whole Martial slot coming back in a bit. Keep Rashford and Greenwood on the wings, and have the striker. Yeah, we can be good.
So, since you both agreed with me, it leads final question of, in case obviously Ronaldo doesn't show up, it's a poor man's dream that he comes back.
Hey man, I feel like he can come over, right? So I have more faith in Ronaldo coming back than him.
That's a conversation for itself. But if that does happen, and Pogba does go, and Oli sees the potential of Martial doing things better from midfield, he's not blind. He must notice the same things that we do. Would you? Sorry, not would you? Who would you play up front? Would you keep Cavani there? Obviously, he's not going to be able to play all the 90 minutes for every single match. The man is getting on a bit. We don't really have many alternatives, so this would be the perfect time to buy one.
Yes.
Who would you like?
Well, I guess what I would say first is in that case, I would actually start Cavani because the myth that he's old and stuff, yeah, he's as old as Vardy, and he's still doing bits in the Premier League. So I don't think I think people need to actually chill out with calling Cavani an old man and a grandpa and all of that stuff. Obviously, the genuine issue is his fitness.
Mm.
Obviously, he's had quite a bad string of injuries, and that is more alarming than his age. When you get a really bad injury, it's more likely you get subsequent injuries. So I think I would actually look at putting Greenwood up there. And I mean, because I still think we need a better right winger. And I think Greenwood is a out and out number 9. I think he's a proper striker.
Mm-hmm.
If that's not possible, if we need to get a new striker in, Haaland. Like no one else in Europe has impressed me like Haaland has, and everyone else is too expensive. Like if this was the noughties, we'd get Mbappe, but
Who needs Mbappe when we have Rashford, man? Come on, man. He owns
Exactly.
Paris. We don't need no one that don't own Paris. Only third up to Rashford, the man that owns Paris. The Eiffel Tower is his and his alone. Okay, this whole Mbappe. Honestly, man, I don't feel like Mbappe is a good alternative over Alan. He's just another fast boy. Do you
Who
think
is
he can do the
Haaland?
number? No, Mbappe. Do you
Mbappe.
really? Do you really think he can actually play up front in our team?
Yeah, but he's not
What?
my realistic. He's not my
Yeah,
realistic replacement. That's
like
a pipe dream.
yeah, I will agree with the Ireland. But I'm trying to see, is there anyone else? There's no one else really to say. Like, there's no like. Is there any like good strikers in a lower team that are like under the radar that are quality and like they're not too elderly yet, but they can provide the goals if they had the beautiful service of Bruno Fernandes. Bruno Fernandes. Like those balls. Like, is there anyone else except for Ireland?
I
Unless
feel
Ronaldo
like
comes back and plays striker. That's all I'm saying.
I feel like most of the strikers nowadays actually all fit into the same category. There's very few and far between that are built like the Lukaku's or the Lewandowski's or
Mhm.
things like most strikers, like all the ones I'm thinking of right now, Zaha, Depay, Mbappe, Haaland, they're all fast boys. There's,
Yeah.
there's
Oh,
no
yeah.
there's no real
Except
alternatives.
like
Yeah.
all those tall boys are gone. Like they're all old men now. Like they're not there anymore. I don't know. Maybe we need to start feeding people more good chicken and stuff so they can grow when they're young. You
Okay.
know,
Well,
and
that's a good point to move on
you
to the Leicester match.
And I was just saying, I don't know, man. There's all fast boys now, man. There's like, I think it's become a feat. If I don't know what FIFA was. You remember that FIFA was only about pace. It wasn't about nothing else. No shot power, no header power. It was just pace, pace. If you had over 90 pace, you were on the team. It doesn't matter if you were 70, 60. If you had the pace, it was the pace. Forget
Speaking of header power, Rashford and that miss, boys. I mean, my granddad would have hit that.
my
I
grandma.
know many elderly men who would have scored that header.
Yep.
Roy Keane would have headed that.
You know what? It doesn't bother me that much, to be honest. Like, it's a bad miss. Like, Cavani, like, funnily, the camera shot to Cavani. Obviously, they knew what they were doing. And he was just like, I would have had that. I would have had that every day of the week, man. I feed my family on those kind of goals, man.
Oh man,
But I think what makes Rashford a very great player and a great human being is that he realizes that miss was bad, but he got up and dusted himself off. And the worst thing a striker can do is get in their own head and be like, oh, I missed that goal. Okay, I need to come off. Or, I scored an own goal. I need to give up. No, you need to be looking for that next opportunity because it's going to be coming. And sure enough, it came for him. Fernandez with a very fortunate
Very
touch on the
lucky.
ball. Yeah. And
James
like,
gets the ball across. Fernandez just about dinks it in the right manner. And
yeah.
class.
Rashford was there. And that's not like you would think that's a given goal, but it's not. Like we've seen people miss from that distance. So
Yeah,
or the keeper save it. You see, so
including Rashford again from the same game.
we've seen the keeper save those kind of shots. So for Rashford to have the composure to score that goal, I think is really where he shines as a person because he's still got that earlier header in his head while he's got the ball there. I don't know if you have any post-match notes, but I checked them out as well, and I was really impressed with Rashford's maturity. Also, that was his 50th goal in the Premier League.
Oh, no, I did see some. I think it was a tweet from Rashford. I can't remember the exact wording of it, but he handled it very well. It was a case of, yeah, I messed up, whatever, but we have to move on. We have to look to the next part, and he did it very well. He's been doing that quite a lot though over the last few weeks. He has missed the same kind of sitters that Martial has. But then the difference between him and Martial right now is Rashford isn't allowing it to affect his game. He's persistent, and even though I said within the same match, he was through on potentially one of the easiest one-on-ones he's ever had in his life, and he bottled it. He completely bottled it. But that being said, I'm not going to be benching Rashford over a mistake like that. Whereas with Martial, it was a case of it was 8 games in a row. He had to be benched.
Yeah.
Granted, I think he's scored 2 goals in the last 4 matches, and then the other 2 he's got assists.
Yeah,
I am correct. So his form is coming back. I'd like to see a few more goals because once again, Martial missed.
We've got a lot of stock in that man.
Oh, jeez.
I think you made a great point earlier when you said Rashford is a persistent player and he will keep going and keep going. Martial is very much a confidence player, and that is the difference between the two. You're right.
Yeah, but alternatives to our strikers, obviously you mentioned him, and he's saying that he'd be eating all those goals for tea.
Yeah.
Cavani and Fernandes. Are they or are they not just beautiful football?
Yes.
The pairing between these two players. It doesn't matter when they play, like the passes, the style, like the runs, everything that they do. I don't know if I'm just like got my tinted glasses on or what, but it's just class. It's just class.
It's class. It's what it is, yeah. It's when like you're at uni or something and you get assigned a project with some random, and then you instantly find out you have chemistry, and then you are just banging jokes. That's what it's like. Real recognize real.
It's great stuff. But alongside the great stuff in this match, there was some very unfortunate things as well. Namely, our first goal. I can't take anything away from the shot itself. But Fred and, once again, Harry, the Fridge Maguire, need to sort themselves out. Now, people have been saying that Fred has been put in work in, and I can't deny it. He's put some decent tackles in over the last few weeks. He has made a couple decent passes, made a couple good runs. He saw the lights. Wish he didn't.
Fred is someone who doesn't need to see the lights. He's not that guy.
But whatever is going on with him over the last couple matches, him and Maguire need to go back to school. They need to learn the basics of football again, because that goal was absolutely ridiculous. The ball was going back. Maguire fumbled the stop. Fred ran in. They had so much time to communicate who's going to get the ball on that. Instead, no one said anything. They both went in for the same ball, completely fumbled the clearance, gave it to a Fernandes who was already marked, and he lost the ball. Now, I'm not saying that Fernandes shouldn't do better. It's Bruno Fernandes. He can beat 2, 3, 4 players if he wants to. It was an unlucky thing. But he should never have been in that situation to give away that ball in the first place.
I heard that.
I agree. I have a lot of contempt for Bruno Fernandes there because of the way he lost the ball.
going for that second nutmeg that didn't work the first
Yeah,
time.
yeah. I don't know what he was thinking. And in his own half, like we've seen Pogba do this. So Fernandes tried to nutmeg the Leicester player, lost the ball, and he is jogging, borderline walking. He's
Yeah.
not trying to win the ball back at all. He
Oh.
watches the ball go to Barnes, and Barnes puts it in. But there's nothing De Gea could do against Barnes'
No.
shot. Nothing Bailly could do. He's too far away. McTominay doesn't close him down. Fernandes doesn't try to win the ball back. You foul the man if you have to.
He should have took his legs at that chance.
Yeah.
He had so online. I know it was his fault for him to have the ball, but he had so much time to either tackle him or take him down as a foul or drag him down. I don't care. Do something about it. Take the yellow card because that there. If he did that, he could have made it to, it could have been a win for us. But I'm not saying it's his fault alone, but the way I saw him walk, not even walk, man legit was like, and he legit like kind of put his hands up like, but like there he had enough time to either draw a foul or at least try to do something. But there he just legit watched them play that. That was just like a easy tapping for them right there. I know it was a beautiful shot, don't get me wrong, but Bruno could have done a bit more in that situation.
Done better.
Running.
He could have. Yeah.
He could like honestly he could have stopped that goal. I'm gonna say he could have stopped that or at least got a foul. So they had a 50-50 chance of scoring because free kicks, either they're wonders or they're over the top bar or into the crowd, or, But I'd rather have a 50-50 than 100%. Right there, he had open space to put that in.
Yeah.
And, as we said, Leicester are a team that don't take chances, bro. They take their chances. We know they can.
We need to look at Fred. We need to look at Fred here as well.
Yeah,
because you made the great point, Sean, that Fred was hand-holding Maguire, and like it felt like decades. It was just the ball. Maguire fell over, and then Fred was just looking at the ball. And Fred also went with Luke Shaw for the same ball when it comes to the second goal. I'm sure we're talking about it later.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same guy, Fred, who doesn't know to communicate. He's going with he's double up on someone who doesn't need to be double upped on. The guy is free. And we're going to talk about that weird ball that he conceded a handball when he just knocked it towards Bailly's hand when he was pointing to Fred to pass it somewhere else.
All right. So just to finish up on that initial Maguire-Fred mistake. So we've seen it before. Fred doesn't care about communication, much like Maguire doesn't either.
Leaders of leaders.
And I understand that obviously there are communication barriers, things like that. But within football teams, within sporting situations, there are ways to communicate with people outside of languages. There are signs, there are symbols. Like in baseball, for example, the pitcher and the catcher will have hand gestures to say what kind of ball to throw, whatever. You can do that same thing in football, the same way that the transition, Bailly goes, pass it over there.
You say that, but Bailly tried to do that.
He tried, man.
And he's going to get the blame because Bailly's put his hand out.
He did get the blame.
Of course.
Everyone's there rinsing Bailly, saying, "Oh, he conceded a stupid." No, look at the man who put the ball there. This is like, what match was it? Beginning of the season, the handball we conceded against, I believe it was Juan Mata. There was a handball against Juan Mata. They literally kicked it out of his hand, and it's like this is the same thing. Things like that aren't handballs. They are balls to hands. They are different.
Yeah.
They shouldn't count.
The thing is, though, if Bailly wasn't there, what is that ball doing? Because it was a weird lofted pass with no speed. So was he trying to pass to De Gea with that ball? Like, watch it back here. It's baffling. What was Fred thinking?
He wasn't. This is the Fred that we're used to seeing. This is the Fred that needs to be benched every single match.
This is the Fred that just legit just plays the game because he plays. He wasn't thinking.
He just kicks the ball.
That's all he does. Have you not, like, if you're deep here, if you watch Fred how he plays, there is no thinking. It's just him getting the ball and kicking it or stopping it, whatever he wants to do. There's no looking up, waiting a bit, saying, I can do the little. No, it's get the ball, run forward. If I don't have the ball, run back. Get it back, run forward and pass. I don't honestly. Fred. I don't see Fred thinking when he plays sometimes. Man. You can see it. He's just there, but Fred just don't worry.
The amount of people who were saying Fred had a good game or Fred was borderline man of the match was insane. They clearly didn't watch the same match we did because that man was diabolical. He was average at best.
I wouldn't even say average at best. I would say diabolical at best. I would say Maguire level of footballer at best.
Leaders of leaders football, bro. Leaders of leaders.
Speaking of the leader of leaders, why is Maguire in the second goal marking the invisible man?
Mate, I said it. He was marking John Cena because I couldn't see who he was marking out there.
Are you surprised?
First things first, we understand Ollie likes zonal marking.
Yeah, but not with Harry.
However, you've got 3 men in the box.
Even those are good.
One attacker.
Good.
Mark, the goddamn player.
Yeah, he was marking good, man. He didn't see it, but it was a
Be
good.
Be aware of your surroundings. If you don't understand the basics of football, you lose matches.
Hey, man, there was a ghost there. He was a ghostbuster. Leave him.
Understand, there was one attacker in the box. We had 3 defenders in the box.
Bro, of course.
That should never, ever be a goal.
Are you surprised it's Harry? It's Harry.
Yes, I'm surprised. I'm surprised.
You remember the guy needs to go back to basics, you know?
Tyrone, okay, let me drop it to you like this, yeah?
Yeah.
United have just spent 80 million on a random defender. Okay? This defender is the captain because he's that good at football. He understands the basics of football. Mm-hmm. He understands what it means to be a leader. He understands that he has to connect the entire team as one cohesive unit. He understands that anything that happens falls on his shoulder and he has to carry the weight of the disappointment and bring his team back.
Yes.
Back to its potential. Mm-hmm. This one man, Tyrone.
Yes. He should lift Earth. That's how strong he is. He should lift the planet Earth with his one hand. Yes.
He has one job. Okay. Outside of all of that, this all sinks into one single job. He didn't do it.
I know he didn't. It's Harry.
Mate.
I know.
All he had to do was stand a couple of paces to his right where the ball was coming to, and he might have been able to clear it. But no, he wanted to cha-cha slide all the way to the touchline for some reason because the ball goes over there and is playable. Basics of football, man.
Bro, I've seen Harry in those positions where he should be marking a person and he straight up just let them walk past him, like just.
And that's why.
That's why I know you guys said man-to-man marking is the way. I did it. It worked perfectly fine. You know, it's the best way to mark. Is man marking, because man, if you're up in someone's grill, they can't think, man. They're thinking, yo, man, this man's up in my grill. Like, leave me be. You can't turn. The one thing, if you're man to man marking, you make a man turn. You're not doing it right. You're not a person. He has to pass it away. There's no way he can get past you if you're doing man to man marking, because no one can run off. You have to keep him there. He can't run by you. You know, like the zonal marking, you have the danger of a guy running past you, and you have to hope he was offside or not. If you have man-to-man marking, you don't get me wrong. There's no way that they can go past the defense easily if you do man-to-man marking as centre backs. Just saying, as centre backs.
Tyrone, regardless if you're man-to-man marking or if you're zonal marking, you have to be aware of your surroundings. You have to be aware of the space that you're occupying and the space that other players are occupying. We saw it before. I can't remember which match it was. I think it was a Leipzig match where all of our defenders slid to the left. then Slier to the right. They're doing the same thing here.
They didn't crisscross them. I know.
Everyone is in the same position. Regardless if you're marking or zonal marking, like no one is spatially aware of where the other players are. No one is actually paying attention to like, oh, I'm zonal marking, so that means I'm here, which means the next person is, I don't know, 5 yards behind me. That's where he should be. Instead, you have two guys surrounding one attacker, then you have Harry in between, then you have the next defender marking the current attacker. What is Harry doing in that situation? Either Harry shouldn't be there, or Harry should be the other person on the front of the attacker. That the person who's currently in front of him should be behind him, and then the other defender should be occupying some other space.
Yeah.
What has happened? No one knows where they're supposed to be.
Hey, it's a leader's job to make sure.
Yes,
that
it is a leader's job, and the leader doesn't know what the hell defending is.
I know, but he's leaders of leaders, bro. That's what I'm trying to say. He's leaders of leaders.
Well, I think he's just looking after his percentages because obviously something like that isn't going to affect his stats with aerial duels and tackles. If he doesn't make a tackle, he can't fail the tackle. And I think that's what he's doing.
Hey, the football brain didn't come with an 8 million deal, bro. It got left behind the transit.
He must have been hell at Leicester. Can you imagine?
Bro, so wait, let me get this right. He left, right? Before Leicester won, right?
No.
Or was he there?
He was there.
Oh, he was there when they won.
I don't think
maybe because he might have been at Hull.
I need to know because if he won it while he was there, it makes no sense how.
No, he was at Hull. He was at Hull back then.
I know
he was at Hull.
Yeah, it was Morgan. I can't remember. Yeah, something else, but it wasn't Maguire. He was at Hull.
He was at Hull.
So
Hull, all right. And he came to Leicester. And I'm trying to understand the 8 million, 85 million.
Oh, he's English.
That was basically because it was because Van Dijk went for 80 and Leicester are a better club than Southampton. That was it.
True. So they basically robbed us.
Yes.
So Van Dijk is a better defender than Maguire.
He was a better player back then, yeah.
Yeah, back then they were trying to compare them so much.
Why you put the extra price on him though? But the fact that Pogba and Maguire went for the same price is a bit.
That's what I'm trying to say. It's a bit sus because at the time they were trying to compare Van Dijk and Harry, and I was like, bro, I didn't even know who Harry was on tour.
Well, no, everyone knew who Harry was because he was the forehead in the World Cup.
Forehead in the World Cup. Yeah, no, like when before the World Cup, I mean, I just never heard of the name. But once World Cup came, then I was like, oh yeah, because he's English now, they're gonna hype it. Because I want to say, if you're an English player and you do good one match, you're a hero. You get praised, you get hyped, everything. It's not only football. It's athletics too. If you're British, if you're British English, you get hyped by your own media to a point of they can put you so high, but they can take you all the way back down when they want to. I just think it's just because.
Tyrone, I'm going to stop you because you say they hype him. Every paper that I read referred to him as Slabhead.
Well, before
Slabhead Maguire, he wasn't hyped. Now played by Fridge Maguire. Okay. Anyway, we move on. Right. So our next matches are on Tuesday against Wolves. We are at home. Wolves aren't doing that great, but at the same time, they're still a decent team.
Dangerous.
What do you guys think the result will be?
2-0 to them.
You say 2-0 to them?
Yeah, they're dangerous, man. Honestly, for the history, I will never trust Wolves. They can never be like, oh, they're not that good right now. They can come around and beat us 3-0 if they wanted to. I don't trust them. Honestly, deep down, I don't know what the score prediction will be. Right now, I know we have our form, but Wolves, they're just a bit sus. Like, they can just fire, heat, supernova, bye. Then go to the next game and lose 2-0. No, they're a bit dangerous. So maybe I'll give it realistically 2-1 to us. Because I know they're going to score. If they don't score, if Wolves don't score in that game, I'll be surprised. Because they normally will score, and if Harry decides to get a clean sheet with Wolves, then it's a bit sus. But
Well, you say that, but Wolves haven't won their last 4 games.
I know, but that's what I mean. They're not like. So, for example, it's not like it's Sheffield Wednesday, which are kind of like gone, like terms
They
of like.
nearly beat us, so let's not go there. Tyler.
Yeah, but did they though, Sean?
Oh, so you said Sheffield Wednesday.
You mean
Sheffield
Sheffield
United.
United.
Yeah, that's what I was like. Yeah,
Sorry.
like that team now. It's like, yeah, they're kind of done and dusted, and I could say like, yeah, they haven't won in like, but it's Wolves. Wolves are a different case because they can do it to big teams, like, and they've proven it before. I'm just basing it off what they have done to us, bro. Come on, man. Look at history with Wolves. They did not end well. Oh, end well. Mm-mm.
Yeah, but you can say the same thing about Leicester. Like the way that they absolutely battered us before.
I know, but
Doesn't mean anything.
true, but I don't. As I said, I just don't trust Wolves.
So which one are you saying? 2-0 to them or 2-1 to us?
I would say 2-0 to us because I feel like
2-0
we
to
can.
us. Okay, this result
I changed my mind. No, I changed my mind. Yeah.
Predictions, bro.
Alright. My final prediction: 2-1 to us. Yeah.
All right, Andy.
2-1. Yes, I'm making it clear. Yeah, to all the viewers. Yeah.
Andy,
I think we're gonna beat Wolves because they're really low on the table and they've just been on the losing streak. I don't think it's gonna be a pretty game. I think that they're not using their best players. It looks like Traore, for example, is starting out on the bench more times than not for some reason. And I think we're gonna win, but I don't think it's gonna be a nice win. I don't think it's gonna be a Leeds win or anything like that. I think it's gonna be like a 2-0, and that's being generous. I think it'll actually be 1-0 to United, obviously. I have to specify because boy, what do you think, Sean?
I'm not gonna lie. I think that we can win it. I think we were very unlucky with the Leicester match. We definitely had the potential to win that. We had a lot more chances than them. So I think that we will probably win 2-1 or 3-1 because our scorers are getting more competent again. They're getting the little flair back, and we're seeing a couple other people stepping up their game as well. Because as we said before, the January transfer window is right around the corner. People are now worried about their spots.
As they should be.
Yes, certain man, like Fridge Maguire, should be terrified.
Mate, he needs to go.
Trust me. Oh yeah. All right. Well, because we're kind of done with the predictions. Yeah. Do you think we'll get Alaba?
No.
This January transfer.
No.
As much as we say we're interested in him, I just want to know: would we get him?
I don't think so.
Just for the sake.
Anyone from like Bayern Munich, Real Madrid, Barcelona, Liverpool, any big team, I wouldn't say we're touching them. I'd say we'd probably get like the players from like Leverkusen's, from AC Milan's.
All right, I just wanted to know because apparently we're interested in him.
Yeah.
So I just wondering, what's the chances of him actually thinking because he's won it all? Why not come prem? That's what I'm trying to say.
Why would you want to lose something that's comfortable as a good paycheck like that as well? Don't forget, every time you win a trophy, you get a nice fat bonus.
Yeah, I know, but he's a contract ended, isn't
it? If you're winning 5 trophies in a season,
I know.
If you're finishing it for the next 2 years.
Yeah, I'm just saying because his contract ended. It's not like he's going to leave, like break his contract. His contract is ending.
He has enough time to sign another one. He's not like they want to get rid of him.
Maybe. We'll see.
The only reason Sorry?
I don't see them doing like a Pogba.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
The only reason I think it might be different is because of the contract situation. So I think if we I think if we go to Bayern and like force their hand and offer them some money, we might get him. But obviously, this is now on the player whether he wants to come to United. And I can't lie, I don't see why he'd want to.
I know.
So realistically, I'm going to say no. I don't think we're getting Alaba.
Mm-hmm.
I think as Sean said, we do need to look at people at Leverkusen and Leipzig and AC Milan. Those teams that aren't at the top tier in world football, but are the tier just below.
So then we have one other match next week, the first match of the year against Aston Villa. Now, they're actually currently sixth with a game in hand over us, which would put them ahead of us. And with their form, they could do it.
It's close. I don't know if I can. I'm not confident in that match at all.
Honestly,
Neither am I.
if
After
we
the way they handled Liverpool, I am terrified of this match.
if we control their midfield, they're nothing.
Mate, they beat Palace 3-0 and then they beat West Brom 3-0. They are peppering teams. They beat Arsenal 3-0.
I'm sorry, that's Arsenal. We don't want to talk about them right now.
Oh my
I feel like we can pepper them, bro. Don't worry, man. We'll show them. We'll show them who's the true pepper.
What's your prediction then?
Prediction of Sevilla. If we can somewhat make Grealish not play good, then I think we have a chance of winning 2-0.
To be fair, they've let in the second least amount of goals. City have let in 12, they've let in 13.
Yeah.
So it's not as if they're just like an attacking side and they're just peppering people left and right. They also have the defense.
Their keeper's actually good, isn't it? The one they think they were.
From Arsenal. Martinez.
And they were joking. They were memeing it, saying he has more clean sheets than their. You know what? Because you said that now. Because I thought it was West Ham that keeper went to. I think 1-0. I make it. I say 1-0 because that keeper's on fire right now.
To who?
To us.
Okay.
To us. Because their keeper's on fire right now, and I don't want to take anything from him. I say 1-0. Because if I turn out, we'll watch the match and it turns out that it's 7-0 to them, I'll cry. I don't want to be a part of that. I don't want to be a part of that history, bro. I don't want to be there. No.
I mean, it would be a part of history.
I don't want to be a part of that history.
But
I still feel like we can win 1-0 against them. That's my final prediction on that.
Purely because I don't like predicting us to lose, I'm going to say we're going to win 1-0. But I think realistically we will lose.
So I'm going to say because of our current form and the reasoning behind why I said that we're going to beat Wolves, I'm predicting 4-1 to us.
Oh, Darren! I have faith in you, Sean. I have faith.
You like doing this, don't you?
I have faith. I have faith in him. Because imagine you watch a game and it goes 5-1. It's like, ooh, Sean was right. But I have faith in you. I'm not disagreeing. I just don't have that much faith in our team to get that much. I believe in you.
You said it yourself. They've got the second best defensive league.
But if you look at our history, we are always the team that crumbles the giants.
Villa are a giant now.
when you beat the current league holders 7-2, you're a giant.
I won't lie. What they did to Liverpool, no other team should, man. Like, you wouldn't last season. You wouldn't believe that Villa was gonna slap Liverpool.
Considering that they celebrated surviving the league, you wouldn't think that they'd come out this season so strong and then smack the current league holders.
7, bro. 7.
It's mad. Absolutely mad.
3. You know, like 3-0 will be like, that's okay. 7.
No, they put 7 past him.
7 past Liverpool.
Does anyone want to make any final points on what's been said?
I guess I want to touch on the fact that Pochettino and United is over.
Only at the wheel.
I want to say PSG are interesting human beings because they fired their manager on Christmas. And basically, all these All Thomas said, was we didn't get enough praise to get for getting to the finals, which is not that political a statement.
There's nothing you can say. There's nothing you can say, bro. Like,
So
there's not. There's not. It's either you go quiet, you just say something at least, like, oh, all that hard work to the finals. If he won, it would have been. It would have made more sense, you know. It's the same way like how Leicester won the league and they just dashed their manager the next season. Like,
it's true. It's true. Um,
that there was cold. That there alone is cold.
well, the players
You did-
want him out there.
Yeah, I know, but that was come on, man. You won the league with the man, and you just, you know what? Nah, we don't want you anymore. Get out of here. But the whole getting him on Christmas, then announce it on Christmas too that we have Pochettino now. Woohoo! Shoo. But it's good enough so we don't hear that stupid. Oh, Ollie out for Pochettino now. So I
Pochettino
wonder.
talk.
I just
Who's
wonder.
it going to be for next? So is it going to be Ollie
Yeah,
out for Sam Allardyce?
yeah, that's what I
That's
mean.
what I
Like,
was
who's
gonna
next?
say. Who's gonna be next?
Now the question is, who's going to be the next person on Man United's lips now? Like who? Because we still have the Ollie out brigade, but Ollie has got back my faith. He's at the wheel now, and I'm on the bus. I'm on the bus. Front seat. I'm ready.
I'm not in any vehicle.
I
He's
got.
behind the wheel one.
I got my
jumping
seatbelt
out
on.
that vehicle.
Hey, I got my seatbelt on. I'm ready, man. I'm ready. I'm enjoying
There are
this
no
ride, man.
seatbelts on buses, Tyrone.
What do you mean? Yeah, there is the minibus. What are you talking about?
You didn't say minibus. You did not say you said a bus. You said
Hey,
a bus.
hey, man said, what? I'm a traveling in
Oh,
Man said TFL, bro. What is this? What is
hey,
this?
that's fine.
What do you mean? What I could? Hey, that means I'm.
Right.
Okay, cool. Let me take it back. Yeah, I'm not swiped my oyster yet. I haven't swiped.
So-
I'm at the back door. I haven't swiped my green oyster card. 'Cause I don't trust him yet. I don't trust him. I haven't swiped. But, yeah.
Well, we're going to wrap up here. So thank you both for joining us, and we hope that everyone has had a good Christmas. Obviously, bit of a different one this year. Hopefully, you've made the best of it that you could,
Mhm.
and that 2021 will be significantly better than this year. If you're not currently following us over at Twitter, it's Red Devils Advoc, and our Instagram is RD Advocate. Please go check them out. Great sources of entertainment, live updates from matches over at our Twitter. Good stuff. And in the comments below, if you'd like to tell us who you think is going to come in for the transfer window, or who is going to leave. But once again, thank you for joining, and we hope you have a good night. Take care.
And Happy New Year.